to commas.
Commas is all things tech.
You see culture and technology coming together.
Life hacks.
The practicality right now and the inefficiency of the internet of buying and selling stuff is extraordinary.
Entrepreneurship advice.
I think the first thing is you got to understand your business inside out.
Love and tech.
I've almost reduced dating to kind of this very momentary snap of a person.
It's going to be a fire show.
I have yet to see something these days that's truly differentiated.
New advice and new inspiration every show.
It really is about the next generation of creatives going faster, further than we did.
Now let's start stacking them commas.
Entrepreneurship advice. Learn from the hottest and most successful investors, founders, and innovators in the game.
Determine your greatness.
It's time to get your knowledge up.
Okay, for sure.
Everybody's trying to figure out how to finance their companies. Some people are going through investments. Some people are thinking about other alternatives. Well, one of the ways that people probably haven't figured out yet, or at least maybe dove down that path from a startup perspective, is actual crowdfunding. We've heard of equity crowdfunding in the sense where somebody will take a percentage of your company, or they'll have certain points depending on what kind of deal you've set up or structure. But we haven't really seen it from the perspective of straight crowdfunding. So I want to introduce you guys to somebody who I love. She is killing it in this space. She's new and she has a platform called Fun Black Founders. Her name's Renee King. Renee, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for that introduction.
For sure. I mean, there's so much for people to learn from you about the platform, how they should be leveraging the platform. And we're going to get into all of those details. But first and foremost, tell us a little bit about what Fun Black Founders does.
Okay. So we are a socially conscious crowdfunding platform for early stage Black founders, Black entrepreneurs. Specifically, we are rewards-based crowdfunding. And what we do is we coach our Black entrepreneurs through a successful launch of a crowdfunding campaign. We teach them how to prepare their campaign, all the things that they need to get through, like their fears or their funding, all that stuff. We teach them about that, and we coach them from start to finish of launching a successful crowdfunding campaign.
So why is this so important for Black founders, though? Why did you decide to focus specifically on Black founders?
I decided to focus specifically on Black founders because what some of the data points, like, for example, there's this great study by Milken where they talk about the fact that when you want to do support services or technical assistance services, right, that are targeted to Black entrepreneurs or Hispanic entrepreneurs, you need to drill down on your service that you're offering, and it needs to be culturally competent in order to support the demographic that you're trying to reach. So when you look at Black founders, Black entrepreneurs, we know the data shows that they are typically underserved or underfunded, like they don't get access to loans, credit, all the different funding opportunities like venture capital, angels. They're getting the least amount of funding to start their businesses. So in order to change that number and to increase their access to the funding, we decided to create a platform that doubles down on Black entrepreneurs. So we double down via our coaching, we double down via our resources, and we double down via how we coach, which is all culturally competent coaching around what the Black founder experience is so that we can get them through a successful crowdfunding campaign. They can get the capital they need, and now they can start or grow their businesses.
That's awesome. Do you think there's enough market share in the space in terms of having, because obviously these other platforms cater to mainstream market. So do you think there are enough Black founders to service your platform to make it a success?
I definitely believe that there is more than enough Black founders to service for this platform. What the main barrier right now that we have to focus on is raising awareness about the platform, raising awareness about how crowdfunding can be done within the Black community as we get over like any stigmas that we have about asking for money. So there's like various points that we just have to, or various barriers that we have to kind of coach around, that then you'll see this will open up even more. But we have some data points that you're seeing where the trend is starting to pick up. You have like some successful Black entrepreneurs who have already crowdfunded, like Crown and Hops. did a great crowdfund. Shop Black. Like, you see the points are picking up where they're helping to build awareness around this. We just need to increase more awareness on it and also help these entrepreneurs, specifically as it relates to their experience of like how can we coach them around not having the fear of asking their community or their family and friends to support their campaigns, how to properly give them the proper verbiage or give them the proper prep work and coaching so that they'll feel comfortable enough to start this campaign and run it.
So the cool thing is you're doing your official launch today, which is super exciting, but you've already had your founders start to raise. So why do you have them raise prior to actually launching the campaign? Why is that so important for you?
So with crowdfunding, one of the tips or tricks that if you know about crowdfunding and you study it, one of the tips or tricks that people do is before you officially launch your campaign to the general public, you want to work like a nice, intimate group of folks that you want to mobilize to hit your crowdfunding campaign the first week that it goes live. So like you do they call it like a stealth launch. You do that because you want to make sure when your campaign goes live to the public that they're not seeing a campaign that has zero raise. They're seeing money in it. And that's just like psychology to help other folks to say, okay, well, I see people believe in this founder. They believe in this campaign. They believe in this product. So I'm going to go ahead and support too. So that's the strategy behind that. And that's basic crowdfunding 101. Everyone who runs a campaign who really did their homework in how to do this, you do that. You run a stealth launch where you have your intimate friends and family go and flood your page and flood your campaign and throw some money in there so that when it goes live to the general public, it's already in there and people can feel more confident, like this is going to be a successful project.
Tell me about the key superstar founders, the ones that are standing out that you're like, yes, that's going to be a winner. Who are you predicting that are going to meet their campaigns? I mean, obviously we hope everybody meets their campaigns, but who is really standing out and why?
Oh, that's a hard question. They're all going to hit. They're all going to hit their campaigns. But some superstars you definitely should watch out for is Tia Williams of Lucas Pie Bio. That's her company, and that's the first Black-owned, queer women-owned biotherapeutic medicine manufacturer. I would also look out for Bree Share, because Bree Share, and that's their founders are two founders, Blaze and Chris, and Bree Share is a remote collaboration platform and social network for music creators to collaborate. Taryn Dean, her company is called The Beauty Maj. Awesome. It's really, really trending right now. And her company is Transcendental Beauty Services that combines metaphysical healing with luxury beauty services. There's so many of them. I mean, they're all gonna do well, but I would look out for those guys. And also Wins for Black Girls, Tiara, she's awesome. And her company Wins for Black Girls is a text alert platform that shares good news for Black women. And you got to check out Ann Beal of Absolute Joy, which is an inclusive, clean beauty brand for people with all skin tones and types. And Seed to Shirt, like this is like one that's going to be pretty amazing. And the founder's name is Tamika Peoples. Her company is Seed to Shirt. It's the first Black-owned T-shirt manufacturing company. They manufacture 100% Black-made custom organic cotton T-shirts for apparel brands. So like those blanks that everyone's printing their brands on, she makes those. It's pretty awesome. So check out all these founders.
So I thought it was super important that you and Dr. Dapper meet because I've seen his hustle. He's gone through the gamut of getting his shoes up and running in terms of the company. And I know that it takes a lot of money in order to continue to push a business forward, right? And so for me, I was like, okay, I see what's going on over here and it makes sense. Like the relationship makes sense. So I want to bring him into the conversation. Dr. Dapper, how are you doing over there?
Well, it's good. We're doing pretty good. We chilling.
So you and Renee have already kind of started to talk about your actual crowdfunding campaign. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have been working on together.
We've been working on a lot. I'm really excited about it because I wanted to do a crowdfunding campaign at one point, but it fell through. So I really never got to explore that avenue completely. So I'm excited to be able to do that and see how it goes. as well as since my network has grown a lot. But yeah, we worked on, of course, we had the phone call to for her to explain everything to us. And I was like, okay, cool. Learning a lot, got a lot of information, cool slide deck. It's real dope. And then we got our Excel document that had the weekly tasks that we needed to do. So me, I work kind of quick. I saw the day-to-day stuff, but I was like, let me go ahead and knock some of this stuff out. Let me hit her up and be like, hey, is this okay? So we've been doing that, and I just recorded my crowdfunding video yesterday. So yeah, that was dope. It's about to be done pretty soon. So yeah, we're just moving through the process, going with the flow. It's been pretty dope.
How important is a video for their campaigns, Renee?
Very important. According to crowdfunding data, which I love to reference all the time, projects that have an actual video perform way better and get more funding versus projects that don't have a video. And just think about it, we're more engaged on social media via video versus a static post, right? That's the higher engagement. The same thing with crowdfunding, videos tell a story way better than when people have to read through a long amount of text and go through just a long page of text and pictures. The videos can ignite emotions. They can learn more about the founder. They see your personality. It just gives it paints a whole bigger picture about your business and what you're doing. And it motivates people to take action.
Dope. So what has your experience been working with Dr. Dapper so far?
So it's been an awesome experience. I will say Dr. Dapper moves very, very quick. As he noted, he sees the task and he just bangs it out, which is amazing when you decide to take this you decide to crowdfund. It's really important that you get in the mindset that you have to do the work. Crowdfunding is not easy. And if you don't do the work, it's not going to work. So I love that. The other part that I really love about Eric is a lot of founders in his stage, right, where he's already gotten so much traction with his shoe brand, right? He's gotten so much traction, and it could have been really easy for him to say, I'm not going to go the crowdfunding route. I'm just going to continue on as I am, taking my loans, doing some credit stuff, and using just the money that he's making from the shoes. But then he clearly recognizes that people want more from his brand. They want more lines. They want so much more. They want it to grow. They want to see it everywhere. So rather than him playing small, he realizes he as a founder has that mindset of no, I need to use all the capital options or funding options that I have so that I can grow this. And that's the mindset that I find that with entrepreneurs that look like us, we have to start to get in control of that mindset that, yes, you need to use other people's money to grow your business. Okay. It's not staying in a bootstrap mindset is not going to get you to the scale that we need our Black businesses to be. So I love that about him. And I know his campaign is going to do amazing just based on a lot of other things that he has going on. He's has proven traction. He's really engaged on his social media, has a great social following, and he's also engaged with his personal network. So they all want to help him. He just needs to turn on the page and everyone will be flooding it. So I'm pretty sure it's going to do well. And he's a perfect case of who should crowdfund.
Dr. Dapper, what are you going to do differently that you didn't do the first time you ran your crowdfunding campaign?
Well, the thing was, I didn't even run it. So I couldn't do
So I'm going to launch it.
I couldn't even do anything different. I guess the only different thing was because I'm running it myself, but there was this guy that was supposed to help me, and he was cool or whatever, and it just like I said, just fell through. He didn't come through on his end with what he said he was gonna do, and because I didn't have the time or energy or focus to just be like, all right, let me focus on this Kickstarter because it was kind of complicated at the time. I didn't really focus on it, but now that I have kind of a layout, boom, 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 of somebody that can show me, okay, this is what you have to do, and give me the task, and I complete it, then it's fine. But going in just in the dark trying to shoot, I'm like, okay, where do I even start with this Kickstarter? So I feel like now that I'm heading it, and then I have a team, of course, beside me to assist me with things that I need and questions, I feel more, I guess, just confident in taking it on. So yeah, it's nothing different, just me running it and actually taking it.
I mean, I saw you hit the ground running. I was on your IG stories and I was like, Oh, he didn't tell me he's shooting a video. Like, what's this whole production?
Production, man.
And I'm like going through it. I'm like, this is like a full production. Like,
we don't play no games, man. We do not play no games. I swear to God. Like anything I do, I promise I'm not playing. So you got to get it done for sure.
I love it. So Renee, what are some tips that you would recommend to somebody who's looking to crowdfund?
The first tip, if you're looking to crowdfund, is we call it like a funder forecast. You want to look at your personal network, all the people that you know, your friends, your family, people you went to school with, people who you go to church with, everyone that you possibly know. You want to start putting them in a list, like putting them together in a really detailed list of like who they are. And then next to that name of the person, you want to kind of estimate how much do you think they could contribute to your campaign. And if you look at this list, let's say you take about a week to put together this great list of all these folks. If your list looks like it's not anywhere close to the amount of what you think you would want to crowdfund, then you got to take a couple steps back and just be very intentional and active with your networking so you can build that list, right? That would be the first step and the good thing about taking that first step, right, is that even if you crowdfund or you don't crowdfund, that step is going to help you regardless on your entrepreneurial journey. Like, I can't stress enough the power of having like the right people in your corner or the right networks or access to the right networks will do amazing things for you on your entrepreneurial journey. So it does amazing things for you on your entrepreneurial journey, but it also helps you with crowdfunding. And why it helps you with crowdfunding is because the data also shows that majority of the contributions you're going to get for your crowdfunding campaign is going to come from your actual network. So it literally is your network is your net worth, especially when it comes to crowdfunding. So cultivate your network, cultivate those relationships that you have with folks, get them involved and interested in your business and just start warming them up and like being really targeted with your networking and putting them on that list so that you can see, all right, this is what it looks like as for my network that I could do if I decided to run a crowdfund. Or maybe this network needs to be worked on, so let me work on that.
What's the average amount that somebody should be considering raising when they're doing their crowdfunding campaign for the first time out?
Your average amount should be a combination of what your network looks like and what you actually need to hit milestones for the next year. That's what your average should look like. So I wouldn't say like your average should be like this specific amount. It's more so like, well, if you do this spreadsheet of putting all of your network folks in there, and it looks like your network can only contribute probably around $10,000, and what you need in order to hit some milestones, the funding that you need to hit milestones with your business for the next year, it looks like you need around $20,000 to do that. Realistically speaking, you're probably only going to be able to crowdfund 10. So either we work on your network so that you can get closer to that 20, or we figure out how you get that balance of the 10 to hit those milestones from somewhere else, whether it's loans, credit, grants, pitch competitions. Do you understand what I mean?
Absolutely. Dr. Dapper, do you know how much you plan on raising?
We're shooting for the sky. I won't give him. I don't know if I should even. Should I tell him, Renee, or should I just leave that?
No.
Yeah, just leave that on the back. Leave that on the back there.
No.
We raising a lot though. We're raising a lot though. We're going for it. We're shooting for it.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you guys are interested in Fund Black Founders, go ahead and log on to fundblackfounders.com. Like I said, it launches today. I'm super excited for you, Renee, and everything you have going on. How can they reach you beyond just the platform?
You can find me on Instagram, I guess you could say, Instagram, Fund Black Founders. We're Fund Black Founders on everything. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we are Fund Black FNDRS. And then my personal IG is the Renee King. So the TheReneeking.
Love, life, and tech.
With Sequoia Blodgett.
Just part of our culture.
Because balance is real between the swipe culture, mental health, personal growth, career, and just about everything in between.
Just keeping it real.
It's a lifestyle.
Incredible vibes, incredible people.
Love,
Life.
and tech.
Entrepreneurship is the new fly. It's all the rage. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's talking about the flashy lifestyle. They're on the IG flexing, how much money they made. Everybody's showing their bank accounts, their PayPal accounts, all the things.
Yeah, it's really crazy. People think it's easy to do this life, and it's really not that easy. So there's a lot of stereotypes out there that I really think need to be nipped in the bud. What you think? It's just a lot of them out there.
You are on point with that. So what are some stereotypes that you've heard about?
One I've heard is that I got into it and the money just came, boom. And then now recently, since a lot of people see me moving to LA, they're like, oh, he got it. Like everything must be good. So it's really like, oh, it's like something special. Like you were ordained to be an entrepreneur. Like, oh, he got into this like secret club and now all the money's flowing. It's like, nah, this is a sacrifice that you make, and you really lose a lot of money and you don't make a lot of money for a lot of years.
I love that because people are like, all the flash, all the flexing, all the IG posts. People think it's such a glamorous life.
And it's really not. And outside of that, people even think you're born, into it, which you can be. Like you can be born into a family that has like birth entrepreneurs, for like the Waltons, for example. And of course, it's something that, do you feel like it's something that you can be born with, or you think it's like over the years through like your life experiences and a little bit of teaching here and there? Because you can't teach entrepreneurship, but it's like,
That's a great question. So that was Draper's question, and part of the reason why he built Draper University. So the idea behind it was, can you teach entrepreneurship? It was like that exact question, right? And I think some people have that grit and the tenacity and the hustle that entrepreneurs are naturally needing in order to succeed, versus like, yeah, you can teach the attributes of it, but are you the right person to execute? And I think that's the big thing. Yeah. And I want to go back to the IG flexing for a second, because I think an example that's super important and interesting that somebody said to me a long time ago is, you wouldn't see Jeff Bezos on Instagram flexing, right? Like the CEO of Amazon.
How old is he?
Who knows? But like, he's the CEO of Amazon, right? Like, if you're an entrepreneur, you know that you are down to the wall. You are getting things done. You're making happen. Like, I mean, any CEO, Twitter, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, you don't see Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And so I think about the successful entrepreneurs who are huge in their space and within their verticals. They're not doing it for the gram, right? And I think, but there is that aspect of entrepreneurship where you are doing it for the gram, and a part of that is your bag. So I think that's interesting too.
Yeah, that's the interesting side of it, because a lot of people are entrepreneurs and they have businesses, but a lot of people are like lifestyle influencers, like they promote a certain lifestyle, or they might be motivational speakers, or they speak on panels. So of course they have to post on social media for that. And then a lot of CEOs or business owners become real high influence individuals, and then brands reach out like, oh my God, can you like sponsor or be an ambassador for, our car or our product or our bar or whatever? And it's like, okay, well, I got to hit Instagram with this. So it's kind of a balance when it comes to the social media life, but nobody's really just flexing, holding like wads of money and just like posting nice cars and everything. It's more so informational when it comes to a business owner being on Instagram, to me.
I love that. And I think when you do see the person that's just flexing, you start digging through those books, you're going to see some empty numbers because you don't have that much time in your day. Like if you need to post and update your socials and you're on live all day long and you're doing this, that, and the third, like it takes a lot of energy to actually run a business.
Yeah. And a lot of people think the 9-to-5ers, we don't work as hard as them. And it's like, we working harder than them because we got to create jobs for them.
Well, you're working 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You take your sleep time, but, I'm not of the Diddy mindset of grind till you die. Like, but like,
sleep that out. Hold that one.
Yeah, technically, like you're working from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. Like you want to pace it out, but in the beginning, you sometimes don't have that option.
Yeah, and even when you go to sleep, you're thinking about it. Like I can't get away from it. Like shower, sleep, in the restroom, wherever I'm at. I'm like, I gotta make some money. I gotta build this. I gotta got to do everything, but I'm not driven by money. A lot of people think entrepreneurs are only driven by money and finances and being rich. You know, me, I'm passionate about what I do and the things that have grown from my business and the different rooms and the different I don't know what should I say. I've had to step into different. What's the word? I can't think of the word. Oh well, whatever. But I've become a person of influence. So, and I'm able to touch people through my story and inspire and do much more than just like build a business. So I'm passionate about it. So I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs that are successful, they're passionate about it and the money just comes. So that's another stereotype that can be crashed because if it was just about the money for me and anybody else, we would quit. So that's why a lot of people fail. They only get into it for the money.
I like that you talked about that because I watch Instagram for very successful entrepreneurs and I see their posts and people are posting their PayPal accounts and they're posting their Stripe accounts and they're like, look how much I closed this week. Look how much I closed last week. But to me, and it might not even be a scheme. They may have very well made that much money, but I think it sets up a mentality for people to chase money.
I think it's easier
versus, versus actually going and like following a passion or following a big idea that, you know, makes a lot of sense for them. They're like, oh, I want to make what XYZ made last week, or I want to be able to bring in $50,000 a month or whatever it is, right? And I think that you making that point is super positive because you want to shift that mindset. I don't think you should be out there chasing the bag because it's actually really difficult to chase a bag.
Y'all saw the video of Lil Duval letting the bag chase him? That's how we doing all 2020. I don't know if y'all saw that, but look up Lil Duval and look at the bag chasing him. His luggage follows him. He can turn left and right and it's follow him. That's what the bag doing for us in 2020.
What other stereotypes have you seen?
One stereotype, another one that's probably like a big one that I feel like a lot of people should be aware of is it costs so much to start and become an entrepreneur. And it's like, nah, man, you know, the LLC don't cost that much, you know, and you ain't even got to be established completely. If you just want to start a business, you know, you just get a product, you know, have an idea, get an Instagram, which is free. If you didn't know that, you know, it's a shameless plug, free Instagram, free Facebook, all that for advertisement. And then you got your website. So Squarespace is like $20 a month. E-commerce. If you go to e-commerce, you have a product instead of a service, then you pay like 40 something, but you know, it's worth it. So that's a small investment and, you know, product shoots and all that. So, I mean, you're looking at roughly a couple pair of Jordans. So I feel like y'all can do that, right? It's not that expensive.
So let's really break that down. For somebody who's interested in being an entrepreneur, who's not chasing the bag, but actually has something that they want to bring to fruition, step one is what?
For me, step one is getting the product. It's like figuring out, I guess, you have an idea. So making sure that, like, okay, some people say make sure there's a problem, then you can solve that problem. So, I mean, a lot of people go to the problem. But me, you know, I feel like if you got a good story and you know your story well, and you know how to shift it and share it in a way to where it's professional, and then you also have like something you're passionate about, whether it's a product or a service, no matter what it is, no matter if it's been done before 1,000 times, if you connect your story with it, it will sell because you will be able to touch people emotionally and that leads to their pocket. And nobody's story can match your story and nobody can tell it like you can tell it. So, you know, if you go down the bread aisle in Walmart, you see Wonder Bread, this bread, that bread, so many different bread brands, but people are connected to a certain brand because of a story or because branding is so well. So if you want to make a t-shirt and Joe Blow down the street got a t-shirt, by all means make that t-shirt. But make sure you got your story and your purpose, and you're really passionate about that. And then from there, you know, I don't know, there are a lot of problems been solved, but if you don't got to get too technical with the problem. You can create your own problem. That's what most businesses do. Create a problem, solve that problem. You know, we want a lot of stuff to happen on Instagram every day. Like, oh, I didn't need to do this. Well, they already know that. They're just not going to give it all to us at once. So just create a problem too, and then you can solve your own problem.
So I would say, from a perspective of problem to solution, I think for the tech industry, it's super, super imperative that you find a problem to solve because the tech industry is so capital intensive that you just can't be out there playing. Like, you got to make sure that you are solving a real problem and a big problem, and you have the right solution for that problem, because you're going to have to raise at some point. You're going to have some type of capital, and it's not your capital. And you want to make sure that you de-risk that investment for the investor, right? Mm-hmm. So for us, it's very important that whatever that problem is, yes, if it's already been solved, you have like a competitive advantage. So there's some unique value proposition that you're adding to the market to make sure that you're standing out, and you are if it's D2C, direct to consumer, or business to consumer, you are who the go-to is. Or if it's on the B2B side, you've created that relationship with whoever the other business is, and that's the transaction that's happening. So we rely very heavily on problems that are unique that we can innovate on, because we're trying to figure out what that next iteration is, or what that looks like in the future 10, 20, 30 years from now, right? So I think that's the difference between small, medium biz versus a tech company.
Of course, a tech company, they got to stay ahead, far ahead, because they're creating the future. I think in fashion, one thing that I've seen a lot of people jump on kind of stuff like vegan. So that's been an issue with a lot of people, like killing animals, eating meat, all that. So if that problem is already there, but that industry is wide open for people to step into with vegan shirts or vegan shoes or vegan whatever, and put that on there. So that's a way to ease into it. And also, if you want to inform people about stuff that they would know, that also creates a problem that you're solving, quote unquote, because you're being honest about it. So if you went in and said, oh my God, Louis Vuitton and all these brands, they have their product actually made in China where it's cheap, and they ship it to Italy to have a button put on, and then they charge you, and they say made in Italy because they had that button put on, and they ship it to the US, or they sell it to you for $2,000, when, the quality is the same as, a store down the street that has no, large luxury brand name. But the quality of that product is like the exact same. So if you raise awareness to that, and you attach your brands, well, we're actually giving you luxury product, without that luxury markup, that's a good way to tap into it too. So yeah, it's a few different ways to go about it. Just, staying in the know. I feel like it's a pretty good way to hit it with the fashion, because fashion is always moving. It moves so fast.
So there's a unique way to approach any industry, no matter if it's fashion, health, finance. Just always look for where you fit in the market in terms of your unique value proposition, what you bring to the table, how you can solve a problem. All right, cool. So you guys understand, obviously, solving a big problem in the market. If there is a problem that you see, how do you innovate on that? How do you take that to the next level? And then creating a problem like some companies.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like, I can touch on Apple again. Like, I think I touched on it earlier with a problem that they created recently, or not even recently. The headphone jack and the charger. So, back in the day, we used to be able to plug in the charger and the headphone. We used to be happy, scurry along, and we just on about our way. But now they have only one port for the headphones and the charger, same thing. So it's like, okay, now I can't listen to my music and charge my phone at the same time. But then they introduce these other products, like, okay, you got the AirPods, then you got the adapter to where you can plug it into the charger port and, charge and listen to music at the same time. So it's like they created that problem where there was no issue. Like, why did you change it? It was working perfectly fine, but they created that problem so they could introduce a solution and also sell more products on top of that. So it's crazy.
That's great. So as you can see, there's many ways to start a business. Beyond whatever you decide to do, just make sure you're passionate about it and that you have purpose.
Dripping through the building. It's time to say it with style.
Dr. Dapper is checking in.
Dr. Dapper's here to swag you up with a fresh perspective from fashion to lifestyle and entrepreneurship. Look good. Now let's hit the runway and say it with style.
What's good, Commas family? Dr. Dapper is back with another segment of Say It With Your Style. This time we're going to take it a little left. We're going to give y'all some social media advice. We're going to talk about a couple of mistakes I see a lot of people making on social media with their business pages, as well as, their personal pages. So like the first mistake I kind of see a lot of people making is that them having their pages on private. And it's really like, you can't run a business, you can't be an influencer, you can't do anything with a private page. Actually today, somebody messaged me, said, "Oh, my friend sent your company a message. She wanted to like do a collaboration with you, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I saw the message. I didn't respond. Her page is private." Like, I don't get to see anything about that person. I get to see the kind of content they post. I can't see their product, if you got a product. So I can't support it. I can't see if I like it. Because the bio does good, but we want to see highlights. We want to see posts. We want to see engagement. We want to see comments and see if people are actually like, communicating with you. So that's one big problem that I see a lot of. And then the girl that reached out to me, she was like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I kind of get that. If I put myself in your shoes, I'm like, yeah, I know you get that because, I can't see anything." So that's one thing. That's one big thing that I would say. And in this moment, if you're listening to this episode and your page is on private, just if you don't want to make any money, okay, and if you don't want to grow your brand, that's cool. That's cool. You don't got to do it. But if your page is on private and you want to do those things, take it off private. Do me that favor. Do yourself that favor. Take it off private so you can grow, make some money, and just scale your business and your personal brand in 2020. It's going to help a lot tremendously. Take your page off private. So that's one mistake. That's the kind of like one of the top mistakes that I see a lot of. And then outside of that, I see a lot of people that don't really like social media a lot. So they rarely engage with their followers. So they can have 10,000 followers. They could just go to Instagram, post a picture, get right off the app. You get more. Your posts get seen by more people when you respond to people when they post a comment, or when you share this, or when you go live, or when you actually like just utilize the platform. Instagram really shows, speaking about Instagram specifically right now, Instagram shows a lot of love to people that, actually use new features and go live and share a post and post on their story every hour on the hour, and things like that. So, and outside of your own page, go engage with your followers' posts, like their posts, comment on them, be in their DM, talk to them, say, "Hey, how's your day going?" Respond to their story, because that person doesn't see your post or see your page because you don't engage with each other. And there's even this new thing in your followers that shows you, okay, these are your least engaged with platforms. So that's a new update with Instagram. You can go in and see who you're not engaging with. And if you're like, "Oh, dang, this is my best friend, why am I not seeing their posts?" It's because you're not liking and commenting on their stuff. You're not DMing them and stuff like that. So if your friend or a page you really like is in there, go in there and just like start to engage with them, comment on their stuff. And then that allows them to come to your page and say, "Oh, what have they been posting?" Same for business pages. It's just like personal. A lot of businesses hire people just to go engage and like and comment and post on the stories and tweet and make Facebook posts or whatever. People get paid a yearly salary just to do that. So if you're a small business, set some time aside, to actually just like, comment, search for new people, message them, love your content, whatever it has to do. Like, just engage with people, and you'll see a boost in your engagement, your insights on your page from doing that. So yeah, that's a really big tip, and definitely make time for that. And then outside of those first two tips, my next tip kind of rolls into, or my next mistake, I should say, rolls kind of into something Sequoia's been doing recently. It's not a mistake that she's making. Maybe she's correcting the mistake that she was making in the beginning, but the content. I see a lot of people posting poor and not well thought out content. Sequoia's been on a roll with her content lately. In 2020, she's killing it. Check out her page, check out her bio, check out her headshot on her profile picture, and everything. Everything is quality. So if you have poor content, or if you think your content isn't quality, go to Sequoia's page, and please use her page as a reference, because she's got it going. She is killing it. And maybe you can give us some tips on how to even get better content, Sequoia. Like, I don't know, like they might need help with getting better content.
That is awesome. So I think it's investing in your content. Before, I was posting anything, and like I was doing a ton of speaking engagements, a ton of like, I'd be with this celebrity or that celebrity from this event or that event. And it wasn't really doing much for me, right? And so at some point, I had somebody look at my page and they were like, "What is happening on this page? Like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be coming to you for. I don't understand if it's for tech, if it's for just the people or like, I don't get what's happening." So I went, literally invested in a photographer, did everything over, like restyled the page, my look, everything, took everything. It was like years worth of content, took all of it down. And I'm talking about from when I was on ABC Family to like photo shoots I had done back in the day to like things I was doing at Black Enterprise. Like everything came down. So 2020 started with like 2 months fresh. And within maybe a week out of being in 2020, I mean, we're in the third week now, I got a huge campaign from Nissan. So I think it's super important that your content is on point. Investing in your content, you have to be cognizant of what your brand is. For me, it's tech. Right. And so even though I've got all these modelly cute pictures, I have to say something in the caption that relates back to tech or entrepreneurship, or else you guys are going to be like, well, did she become a runway model
Instagram
yesterday?
model.
Like, what happened? Like, what's this new direction now? I will take that bag. Trust me. But, we need to be very, very clear about what your brand is versus, what you're trying to portray. And you will know because you'll see who your followers are. So I look at my followers and I see that a lot of them are in tech, a lot of them are entrepreneurs, and you can also see your demographics if you start digging the insights. You are very much in that fashion space, but you also are very, very, very good at engaging when it comes to Instagram. Tell us a little bit about what the insights mean to people.
The insights are dope, especially since they're taking away likes and views. I've actually got to get a peek of what it looks like from the outside. So what I saw from my friend's page, this page has been updated already, is you can see only likes that the people or follow, y'all follow or like or something like that, maybe. Because I saw like 2 or 3 likes on certain posts that he showed me, and I was like, oh, these must be people you already follow and y'all have in common. But the insights that's going to be really dope because I feel like a lot of brands are going to have to go deeper than just the surface of a lot of followers, which I'm going to touch on with a mistake that a lot of people are making. They're buying followers just to have that image of like, oh, I got 100,000 followers, but it's like, oh, you got 70 likes and you got 5 comments, and it's like, come on, man, or you got 1,000 views, but you got 2 likes on your post. It's like you can't have you have 1,000 likes on your post, but you got 2 views. I've seen a lot of people have more likes than views, and I don't get how you can have more likes than views because you got to view it to like it. So
yeah, you had a meme up the other day that like killed me. Do you remember what that meme was? It was so funny.
Stop buying followers.
No, there was like a breakdown of it. You have to say. Do you remember what it was?
I have to pull it up. We can pull it up, but let me see if I can find it. But
it was so interesting. You sent it to me.
The basic thing is the buying followers, and I think it has something to do with like a like isn't gonna go with you.
It was so funny. It was like in 2020, we're going to stop having 70,000 followers, 11 likes, and 2 views.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Was funny.
And then it was like, instead of buying followers, buy a book.
Yeah, something.
It was so good.
So yeah, the followers is a big thing, man. It's a lot of people are buying followers, and that doesn't help with anything, And even when people go live, you see like 2 people in the live, but they got 100,000 followers. It's like where this doesn't align. So you really can't capitalize off of buying followers, in today's time now because of what Instagram has done. And also, you were saying you can look at your followers and see a lot of your followers are in tech. I can look at my followers and see that a lot of my followers might be in fashion or just entrepreneurship. But if you look at somebody that bought followers, you can see clearly that the fake accounts, if you go through their like followers, it's a lot of like scribes and Chinese writing and no profile pictures. And if you see
hair accounts,
all that, and it's like if you see that on somebody's page, automatic red flag. So that's a big mistake that a lot of brands. I think some people are trying to do it with their brand too to make their brand look more credible, and also their personal pages, influencers and stuff. They do it a lot. But you touched on insights. That's a part of insights. You guys don't buy followers. But as far as insights, you got your impressions, your reach, you got your demographics, of course, of like where people live, where most of your people live. So you can that kind of helps with ads. So you can target specifically, where you need to target for your product to put it in front of people in New York, for instance, if you have most of your followers in New York. So or if you travel and you want to do a pop-up event, okay, New York might be the place I need to go because most of my followers are in New York, my supporters. So let me go there. So insights are very cool. Love them. Instagram took likes and views. That really didn't, hurt me too much. I don't really care about it. It's whatever. Now your page has to be more aesthetic. It has to be appealing to the eye. So that goes back to the content. Posting quality content is going to be the way to go in 2020 until they change something else, where they bring likes back or they bring something back. But right now, the quality of the content that you post, making sure you're not buying followers, and making sure your insights are popping, because that's what they're gonna want to see, the insights, because they can't see likes, they can't see views. You can see the likes, you can see the views, but people from the outside can't see it. So be ready with your EPK, your media kit, to shoot over your insights and back it up with the quality content in 2020.
This is The Plug.
You know who's the plug.
It's time to get caught up on the hottest in tech.
Keep it locked, you heard?
With Sequoia Blodgett.
I see you, little mama.
Some new tech and innovation has hit the market, and we're going to discuss some of the hot products to look forward to in 2020. So the first up is the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Fold. Now, what's interesting about this product is it's not just a laptop or a tablet or a mini desktop PC. It's kind of all three into one, and it actually folds in half. So I think that's a super interesting way to conserve some space. Dr. Dapper, what do you think about this product?
I think the Fold is cool. I've heard in the news that the Androids have had some issues. I call them the Androids, like they're like outsiders. The Androids, they've been having issues with their foldable. I don't know if it was a Galaxy or what it was, but the people were talking about how the screen was glitching, how it was freezing, how one side was working and one side wasn't. So I feel like with the new technology, it's going to be something you want to look out for before you kind of like get into it. If you're the early adapters, if you like to have the new stuff, by all means go for it. But if you're a businessman, you don't want those issues, you don't need those setbacks. Like myself, just stick with it. The regular non-foldable. That's what I would do. I would stick with the regular one screen and just rock it out until it's perfected. But I feel like it's cool though. It's something that's very, very crazy to see glass bend and fold. Like I'm like, how do you even do that?
It's interesting. It's something that I would play around with. I like the idea of being the first to test something to market when it comes to market, right? And so I would want to know what would be the benefit aside from just folding it in half. Like, of course, it's saving space, but what else is it helping me to do? So those are some of the questions that I would have. Regardless, it's $2,500, which is a great price point to me for a laptop, because Apple can get up there.
They can get real high. And even to answer like your question, maybe the benefit, I saw a picture of it, and it looks like you can have like one screen going with something else and then another screen going with something else. So kind of like multitasking. Like if you want to watch a Netflix series and then you want to work on something on the other side, I think it's pretty convenient for that. So that's pretty cool to see how that works out with the multitasking and double screens.
So if you guys are looking for a new laptop, something you could potentially test out, see if it works for you. I'm an Apple girl through and through. I know it costs me a lot of money to be on the team, but I'm totally about paying for it. But I am willing to explore my options. The next one up is the classic Whittings Scan Watch. Now, what's interesting about this watch, I have one. I love it to death. It's very fashionable. I was a part of this new health, doctor's office of the future is what they called it. So when I went through the process forward, I essentially signed up, and then they gave me this watch as like a gift, and it's tracks everything. It tracks your heart rate, it tracks your steps, it tracks your sleep, and there's an app attached to it, and I love it. Not only does it do all that, but it looks really good and really fashionable, so you still fly while you're rocking it.
So you got this early? You got this real early, huh?
Real early.
So you really plugged. So what have you been wearing it every day, or do you use it every day, or how is that like? Tell me about it, since you're the first one to have it.
I love it to death. So I was wearing it really often when it came out. I think the one that they're referencing when it comes to the new thing on the market is probably another iteration of that or another version of that. So it's looking like they will be dropping something 2020 versus the one that I have, which I think was probably the older traditional iteration of it. But either way, I tried to wear it every day. And the thing that I used it for the most, which I guess you could use a Fitbit for, was to literally track my steps. Like, I wanted to be fly and know how many calories I was burning.
She's taking luxury steps, y'all. Y'all hear that? Luxury steps.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, what the steps were looking like. So if you're looking for something fly, I mean, obviously there's so many watches on the market, smartwatches. Apple has their smartwatch. And, but I think trying out something a little different, and this one's a little bit more inconspicuous. So it's not, you don't have all the digits and the gadget. It doesn't look very futuristic, right? It looks very luxurious, like you said before.
And this goes back to Sequoia. This goes back to brand loyalty. Sequoia is very loyal with Apple, but I'm sure they gave her that free watch. She was like, all right, I'll try it out. So if you're loyal to your brand, stay loyal to your brand if they drop a smartwatch. But if you're not loyal to your brand, check out this new smartwatch. It seems like it's gonna be really dope.
Yeah, I mean, I'd totally check out an Apple Watch and play that game too. So I'm not opposed, right? I'm totally open. So next up is the Hydra Loop. Hydra Loop is a new innovation that they've come up with, which essentially will help you clean your plumbing water. So anything from just laundry to showering, you put in a Hydra Loop. Essentially, it will recycle that water for you. And then that water is going to be used for flushing toilets, watering your lawns, replenishing pools, or even doing your laundry all over again. And what's super interesting about the Hydra Loop is it's 85% saving you on your water usage, your overall water usage. And we all know that California has been going through a horrific drought. We're doing better these days, but still, you want to be conservative with your water. So I think the Hydra Loop is going to be something that does change the game.
That's dope. And one thing that's changed the game as well, that's a new thing, is the Insta360. That's changed the game for not homeowners with toilets, but it's changed the game for influencers on Instagram. So it's a lot of influencers don't mind, carrying around a lot of cameras, taking a lot of pictures, but the average Joe, and now more so like the influencers that are on the go, they want to find a way to make stuff more convenient, more easy for them to capture content. This Insta360 is crazy. One of my homies is an influencer. I saw him using it about a month ago, and that was the first time I ever saw it. I was like, what is this thing? Because it seemed like a drone was following him everywhere he was going. And I was like, bro, you have a drone flying beside the car and getting out and just flying with you and following you wherever you go, like a tracker? And he was like, no, man, it's this new Insta360, whatever, yada, yada. So basically you have a selfie stick that's attached to it, and it makes it disappear. And it's crazy. When the content is done, after you shoot it, you can't see the stick. So it's what kind of technology are y'all using? What realm are we in? Whose mind is creating this? Because a selfie stick that disappears in the video content, it's really stupid. So
that's next level. That's next level.
Very next level. And 4K video, all that is crazy.
And that's what's interesting too, is a lot of these new technologies and the cameras that are coming to market, they're super small. So you're able to port them around. You can do your 360 video, get amazing images, and still look amazing. We were shooting some content last night. I went over to my friend's house and we were doing some DJing, and they had a gimbal and shooting it on the iPhone 11. And it literally, I'm a major film enthusiast, filmmaker through and through. It looked like we were shooting on a Ari or an Alexa. The anamorphic on it was crazy. So I'm super excited to see what this camera does. I want to see the type of images it produces. Have you seen content come from it?
Oh, yeah. Content is stupid. And then if you go to Instagram, look up Insta360 or something I think that's it on Instagram too. You go to the website and they show you videos of content that's been created, of course, because they want to give you a preview of it. And there's this feature that's called, it's the flash cut feature. It's crazy. It'll edit the video for you based on certain specific pieces that you had in the video. Like if you had food or animals, or you had something with pets or something like that, it'll edit it for you. So the camera's only $300. A lot of cameras cost $500, $600, $700, $800 to create content like this. So it's really a big steal, especially when you got your iPhone too, that creates content that's stellar as well. So I mean, it's a bang for your buck, and you got two when you got your iPhone right next to you. So it's crazy the amount of content we can create now with our handheld just devices. to go along with the new technology, we got the new apps and the new things. And the hottest thing that I've seen around now is like this TikTok stuff. So a lot of kids are on TikTok and they're on their phones doing it. But now I'm looking here and I looked up something and I saw a TV that Samsung's dropping that's going to be TikTok compatible. And it's like, so they bringing it to the big screen now. They're taking it off the phone and taking it to the screen so the kids can be at the crib just chilling. You see a Christmas day, the fire lit. You got the stockings hung, and everybody's on TikTok on the TV. You know, have you heard about the TV?
The Samsung Zero. So I think what's interesting about the TikTok TV, I think what's interesting about content, period, is the studios are going to have to really figure out how they're going to place themselves in this new ecosystem, because Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of these social media platforms are turning into media companies, right? So knowing that they now have the support of big screens, I'm no longer watching it on my iPhone. I can put it on a 43-inch TV with 4K, LED, and it's going to look amazing. I'm a little concerned if I'm a studio, because now the attention's going away from what I'm used to producing to now Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, where does that leave them? I don't know. So crazy. Yeah, that's something that I'm really, really interested to see how it all pans out. I know Fox is doing their own streaming network. Disney obviously launched Disney Plus. They have their streaming networks. So I think they're trying to be competitive, but I don't know how you compete when there's so much content coming out. I guess it's more so like you were talking earlier about brand. I think it's more so on a quality level, right? Mm-hmm. At some point, you're going to be done watching 15-second videos and
you get tired of that, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I think it's quality that's going to win. I think that studios are going to get smart, and maybe they're going to pair up with some of these companies and see how they actually fit in the mold beyond just the traditional studio system and even the streaming system, because I think streaming platforms are 2018, right? So what's the streaming of 2020? What does it look like in 2025? I know with the Nissan campaign, they approached me for augmented reality. So that's definitely something that brands are considering, virtual reality. So I am so excited and curious as to where the visuals are going to go 5, 10, 15 years from now, because TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, they're only getting bigger, and they're only taking up more market share. Very curious to see where this goes. So you guys definitely try out some of these. If you do, let us know. Drop us a line on commas at commas.club on Instagram. Let us know what's popping. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you recommend that other people use it? Because it might be something that we will feature on our show again. So if you have other stuff that you've seen, also let us know that as well.